Well, folks, if I can get back on and let you know I didn't run off or take a vacation or anything like that, I'm still here. Just been really busy. Man, they always say when things happen, they happen in threes. Well, this is four and fives. So just been really busy. Yeah, I went up there today and I don't know, must have been a crappy belt or something. Put a new belt on the mower. And hell, I didn't get an hour out of it, man. It just shredded apart. Of course, I keep extras, so I put another one on, and man, it worked fine after that. But must have been a bad belt. That's all I can figure. So figured I'd get on here and let you listen to, well, whatever. I've been watching a lot of. Well, I've been watching a lot of. I've been watching a few things that they want to codify at least 50 of Trump's executive orders, Congress, so they can keep them in law, make them law. So the next administrator just can't walk in and do away with them. Make it much harder than that to do. And Trump wants to send out, now it's starting to come out now again, wants to send out, refund checks, call it what you want, stimulus checks, doesn't really matter, to people. I don't know if it'll, yeah, I don't know. I heard maybe a couple thousand per household. I mean, if you're going to do that, make it a couple thousand per people in the household, like husband and wife, or the two breadwinners, you know, or make it 5,000 per household, which would be better. I mean, don't, I mean, a couple $1,000. I mean, well, I don't know. That might be a lot to some people, I guess. But yeah, we should keep an eye on the Fed because they're really coming after him, Powell, because he won't play ball. I mean, like Trump said, if you can save $1 trillion, and then one of the easiest ways to save $1 trillion is lower the interest rates, and we don't pay as much in debt. Well, I mean, I get it, and it does stimulate the economy. People hopefully they'll go out afford a house, or but housing prices, I believe, are still too high. Just like I believe car and truck prices are too high. They need to lower those and lower interest rates both. They need to do not just one, but both. They say inflation is holding still. Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks that way for right now. But I don't see energy prices dropping. I mean, like they should. I mean, I know it takes a little time to ramp things up. It doesn't happen overnight. But, where I'm at, gas prices are still, around $3. Might be a few cents less, might be a few cents more. But that's power. It just runs sideways. Doesn't do a lot. Just kind of giving you a recap there, what's kind of going on, and finally, hopefully, some of these people will be held accountable. To what extent, I don't know, but as long as some of these people are held accountable, like Obama and the Clintons and hell, the Bushes and a few of these others, rat bastards. They need to go after them and I love this. Oh, nobody's above the law bullshit. Well, when you stand there and you put your hand up and you swear to take an oath and do swear to this and this and this, well, and your job has a classification, has a statute that says this is your job. Well, you're to be held at a higher standard, or at least that standard. You and me, we're not that way. I mean, we're not taking money from the government. We don't get a government check. If you're taking a government check, you should be held to a much higher standard. I mean, this is why they have licenses to control people. Like bar cards. I mean, you walk into a court of law as a layman, and a lot of stuff doesn't apply to you, man. You can do a lot of different things because you don't have a bar card being held over your head. Just like medical licenses and a whole bunch of other stuff. You don't have to follow the same rules. What I always find interesting too is people take a driver's license. Okay, you take a driver's license. Well, what's that really mean? To me, it doesn't mean anything. Because the fact of the matter is, Supreme Court come out numerous times and states of blah blah blah, courts and such have come out numerous times and said you have a right to use those highways, to use the roads, to use all that stuff, and not to be impeded. Basically, you don't need a license and you don't need a registration on your car. You're free to use this stuff. Commerce is another story. So even if you have a license, how the hell can they say or do anything to you when the fact is you don't need one? I always think that's interesting. So there's a lot of examples like that. And the other thing is too, they say your quote rights are not, you can't tax a right. They do it. I think what happens is a lot of times people will, most people just go along, just to get along. They don't want really any trouble. They want to be left alone. So they just go along. They don't agree with it, but they just go along. And then when they go to the store and they look at prices, going, "My God, I got it's like, man, we can hardly afford to eat." And then when they go to the gas station, it's like, man, I don't know how many more times we got to fill this thing up this week or this month because we don't have that much. And things like that. Then people start looking around, going, what's an alternative to this? Like I said, Brandon Joe Williams and people like him are your legal means to take care of things. They use their system against them. How it should be. But there's times when you don't have that kind of, you don't have the funds, nor the time, or the energy to spend on trying to make it right. That through their legal channels. because that's where your Constitution and your Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence comes in and says, listen, you don't have to tolerate this. It doesn't say anything about courts. It doesn't say anything about legal means or anything. You know, it's always funny that like 96, 98% of the people that are charged with a quote crime, bullshit, plea, plead guilty, and they come up with a plea deal. Why? It's not that they're guilty or anything. It's just they look at the whole situation going, I don't have that kind of money to fight it. You know, this lawyer's going to cost me a boatload of money, and you just ain't got it. And they make it in such a way to where the plea deal seems pretty good, so they just plead to it. But you see, that's not how our legal system's supposed to work. They strong arming you. And I don't believe they have jurisdiction over you. I mean, most of the stuff they come up with is who's been harmed? Where are they? You can't harm the state. You are the state. You can't harm the federal government. You are the federal government. I mean, if you harm another, quote, individual, now that's another story. And I know what they're going to say. Oh, you know, the corporation, you know, it's a corporation. It's its own identity. Well, that's where people like Brandon and Williams and people come in because they'll show you that you don't fall under their jurisdiction. So, folks, really, that's all I got on here to say. And if you're not right with God now, what makes you think you're going to be right with God when the time comes? It doesn't happen overnight. I've explained this to you before. Work on it and keep working on it. Self evaluate yourself, self evaluate your morals, the reasons why, your values, all that stuff. And try to be the best you can be. Work on things that benefit you, and that's you. Work on you. You see what I'm saying? Exercise doesn't benefit that guy, it benefits you. You know, which you can do to help yourself and benefits you, go for it. Just like learning this stuff and and taking care of yourself. Eating right, exercising, and spiritually coming to Christ and accepting Christ as your Savior. That's a start. But you got to keep working at it. You just don't do it and then forget it. You just don't make this little prayer thing and forget it. It's a continual working at it. And that's what I'm saying. You're just all suddenly going to say, oh God, please forgive me for my sins. And all suddenly, you know, right before you die, 2 minutes later, it's all forgiven. What's in your heart? Are you playing games? That's what I'm getting at. Are you playing games with God? Are you manipulating Him? Do as you damn well please, and then when the last second comes, oh, well, you're going to find out the hard way. And like I said, it takes time to get to that point to where you've repented and you're following Christ. So, Doesn't happen overnight. So so work on that now before it's too late. Better yourself. Work on things that they can't take away from you. Learning skills and becoming a better person morally and with values and so on and so forth. They can't take that stuff away from you. Say, yeah. So keep a relationship open with God. Keep the channels open. Keep praying and keep talking. So you folks, you take care now. Who knows when all crazy crap cuts loose? We don't know. All I want you to do is be ready for it. And spiritually ready is the number one best thing to do. Because if you don't make it through it, hopefully your soul and such carries on in Christ in heaven. That's all I'm saying. Sure don't want to end up in hell. So you folks, you take care.